What's up, bitch? It's your girl Skarlet Starlet, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to do this drag queen makeup look that you see before you right now. This is something that interests you, sit your ass still, the tutorial's about to start. However, if it doesn't interest you and you're actually sitting here wondering how you've ended up on that side of YouTube again, go ahead and click somewhere else, cause shit's about to get real. Alright, we're going to be starting off our tutorial today with our eyebrows already glued down. If you're curious on how this process is done, go ahead and click through right here and watch another one of my tutorials that explains it in detail. So what we're doing right now is a little color correction. We're taking an orange pigment and placing it on top of our eyebrows to cancel out the blue undertones of those hairs so that they don't show through our makeup. Now I'm taking a Ben Nye foundation, which is a full coverage foundation, and I am just covering up my eyebrows and starting to kind of block out the T-zone on my face, because that's kind of where I like to start when I start doing drag makeup. And this is what it looks like once we've successfully covered our eyebrows. Next here, what I'm doing is taking a NYX Cosmetics eyeshadow base in solid white and using it to brighten up my eyelid area. What I'm doing now is taking a NYX Cosmetics eyebrow pencil in brown, and I'm starting to kind of carve out and define where my faux cut crease is going to be. This is an old school drag trick that kind of completes the illusion of elongating and enlarging the eye. Alright, so I am using the purple from my Sugar Peel Burning Hearts palette, and what I'm doing is I'm applying it on top of the line that we drew with the brown eyeliner pencil and kind of buffing and blending it out. That brown's going to kind of act as a base so that we get a richer, darker toned purple around the crease area, and then we're going to blend out from there. Alright, so next what I'm going to be doing is taking some Ben Nye eyeshadow in the color Fuchsia, and using a fluffy brush, I'm just going to start adding this into the existing eyeshadow just to kind of turn the volume up a little bit more on that and to give me a little bit more of a gradient. I'm also going to start to take this and just lightly start to pull down this eyeshadow color underneath my eye. Alright, so what we're doing next is taking our bitty little eyeliner and starting to draw out where our winged eyeliner is going to be. Now, I overdraw my eyeliner, so it typically covers my entire eyelid, and I just use a pencil during this stage to just kind of like trace out where I want my eye shape to be. I'm going to go back at the end of this process with liquid eyeliner and get it like picture perfect, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. So next I'm taking the tips of that winged eyeliner and starting to buff and blend it into my eyeshadow. Alright, so next up we're going to start working on the nose because I'm just tired of working on my goddamn eyes. So what I'm just doing right now is just really kind of like laying out and defining where my nose is going to be. Alright, this is what it looks like when it's kind of like outlined. And what I'm doing now is going back over those edges and kind of buffing and blending them down around the nose, but still preserving and maintaining that contrast, because that's what you need to really sell this illusion of a thin plastic surgery nose. Alright, so next what I'm doing here is taking some matte white eyeshadow, and right below the cut crease we are taking that white eyeshadow and pressing it into that negative space there. Now the reason that we do this is to create the illusion of a larger eyelid than we really have. I hope all this is starting to make sense to you. It needs to. Alright, so next up, what we're going to be doing is probably the most fucking important thing we're going to do here today, and that is draw our eyebrows. Now, eyebrows is a skill set in and of itself. It takes a hot ass minute to get your eyebrows right. How I draw my eyebrows is I do this 3-point system where I make 3 dots that correspond with certain angles on my face, alright? Once I have those dots, I just start to kind of like connect the lines and just make the angles correspond on either side of my face. It takes a lot of effort and energy to get eyebrows right, but they are so fucking important. Alright, so next what I'm doing is I'm taking eyeshadows and I'm pressing them into the brown eyebrow that I drew on, and what I'm doing is giving myself kind of like this purple to turquoise ombre brow. Alright, now this takes a hot ass minute to make look right. You just gotta sit there, press your colors into that eyeshadow, and just keep layering that shit on top of itself so that it becomes as prominent as possible, and just buff and blend it out till it looks right. Alright, so next up we're going to be taking some concealer and going around the edges of our eyebrows. Now we do this so that we can go back and kind of clean up the lines and get really sharp, precise eyebrows. When you're doing makeup like this, concealer is like the magic eraser of fucking makeup. You need to have it handy at all times for cleanup. Just a little pro tip right there for you. Here's a little close-up of the area we've been working on so that you can see in better detail. Alright, so next what I'm going to be doing is taking my contour color foundation and just kind of start outlining where the contours of my face are going to be. These are typically placed along the temple and forehead area, as well as in the hollows of the cheeks, and this is done to really help kind of round out and feminize the face. This is a really important part of your makeup, so you need to really take your time with it and make sure that everything's kind of proportioned and balanced out. Here you can see me doing the color correction technique that we used on our eyebrows along my goatee area. I don't really grow like a full-on beard on my face. I just kind of grow hair in my goatee area, so that's the only place I'm really going to focus on using the color correcting technique. Alright, once I have that done, you'll see that I'm about to start taking this foundation and using a stippling motion and technique. I'm going to just tap this makeup onto that orange area to help cover and conceal any facial hair that may try to show through my makeup as the night progresses. So now that we've got our foundation and our contours laid out, what we're going to do is kind of start to buff and blend all this shit together. Your makeup can never be too blended, it's not possible, so really take your time ensuring that all of it is nicely smoothed out and it has an even consistency and is well blended across the entire face and neck area. Alright, so next up we're going to be setting all of this creamy foundation with a loose powder in the color Translucent. I use Airspun. It's easy to find this stuff. I think they sell it at like every CVS and Walgreens or grocery store in America. Alright, so you can see that I've started to draw on my lips. Now to do this, I'm using a limited edition MAC color that was by Rihanna. I forget its name. But it's a beautiful color and I love it. It wasn't dark enough for this look I felt, so I went and started taking some of my purple eyeshadow from my Sugar Pill palette and placing it on top of the lip in conjunction with that lipstick, and I think it gave me a really beautiful color that works perfectly with this makeup. Alright, so here you can see that I have glued 3 iridescent gems to my forehead. Now to do this, I use some lash glue as adhesive. It works like a champ. Here you can see that I've placed my yellow contacts in my eyes, which I think are going to go really well with this look. And next I am loading on a ton of eyelashes. Now I typically wear 2 sets of eyelashes on top. And sometimes I wear bottom lashes, sometimes I don't. For this look I am including them, and here you can see that I'm taking my liquid eyeliner and going back over my eyeliner. Alright, and I've made it super clean and super precise. I don't have that on camera because I have to fucking really pay attention and I couldn't record that shit, but here you can see the final look once it's all put together, guys. I'm so happy. So here I am getting my Miss Pastel wigs aligned on my head. If you're curious about this wig, you can locate it at bobbypins.com. I have a coupon code for that. I also have a video wig review on it. Go ahead and click through right here to watch that. Alright, so that's going to conclude my makeup tutorial. I hope you learned something. I hope that you enjoyed watching the video. Be sure that you like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And be sure to stay tuned in because I'm going to keep uploading shit. So until I see you next time, I want you to take care, alright? Goodbye.